next we're just gonna be getting into the two colors, and
Okay.
then I closed it just now, but I'm going through the color wheel. So like what I'm doing is I'm starting with the first two, and then I move them, away to just cycle
Sure.
well, and then when that's exhausted, do it like that. So that's just how that's how I organize cards and stuff.
So white, blue, blue, black, and then white, black, white, red, white,
Yeah, white, blue first, and then white, black. Yeah, white, red, white, green. All the whites are exhausted, so then moving,
blue,
yeah, blue, black.
blue, black, blue, red, blue,
Yep,
green.
and then
Blue.
just onward.
Okay.
So Azorius first. Azorius is very like controlly, dictatorshipy.
Azorius is all about judgment and justice,
Yeah,
and not really bureaucracy, but like the rule of the law. It is lawful good. It
yeah,
is
yeah.
Grand Arbiter.
He was one that I was thinking of because of his bureaucraticness,
Yeah.
bureaucracy.
Feel like there was another one.
We were struggling with this name before. That silent counterspell before.
Render silent, but
Yeah,
um,
I think
I
in
mean honestly, that whole thing feels blue to me. I know
yeah,
silence is a white card, but
yeah,
it feels like a blue thing to me.
yeah. No, that's fair.
Um, like there's another like Grand Arbiter or Judge thing.
Uh, who is that one chick? Elocutor. I thought it was Elocutors.
There's Asperia, Supreme Judge, but that the ability doesn't really lend itself.
Is it? I'm misspelling it. Ispiria. Oh, it's Ispiria.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, not really.
the ability doesn't lend to it. I like the name though.
hmm Um, what were those? The dudes with the filibuster counters.
Oh, it has a weird name.
Yeah,
Azorius something, I think.
I thought it was Elocutors, but it's not coming up.
Um,
Elocutors, no.
I think it started with an E.
There you go. Azores, not Azorius. Okay.
Ah. Um,
That's the definition of maybe the legal system, but um, maybe not Azorius so much. Because they don't just necessarily just try to end things in a few turns, or after such amount of time. Legal, yes, absolutely. Maybe Azorius, but not like white blue.
Actually, honestly, that is how a court of law would work. Is you have to present 5 pieces of evidence to, um, you know, get a verdict, and whenever something damages your evidence, you lose, or something damages you, you lose a piece of evidence.
Yeah,
Like, I kind of like it.
yeah. But it is very Azorius, but is it white blue?
See, that's the thing is you have to differentiate between whether or not you're just combining white and blue, or if you're going through what the white blue combination is like, because the white blue combination is all about the justice, the bureaucracy,
Yeah,
your, the detaining ability that
yeah,
came with the new Ravnica set was all about, locking down. That's what blue white. That's what Azorius, the guild, and the magic was about, was the law.
yeah,
And like that's what this represents. So I would say that this is a really good candidate for the white blue spot.
yeah. We'll hold on to it until we think of something else at least.
Okay.
Elocutors. Okay. Orzhov, white black. I actually didn't think of something for this.
Orzhov is very similar to white blue, as white blue is the legal system, white black is the church's. It's the church. It
hmm
is like the difference between the government, Queen Elizabeth, and the Pope, leader of the church.
Yeah,
The Pope still makes laws and everything for the church, and a lot of nations rulers are, highly tied with the church. But it's slightly different, whereas um, it has more of a divine connotation, where
Yeah.
instead of being for the law, it is whether or not the gods think you are.
Worthy.
Well, if you are following what the gods have told you as opposed to what the laws have told you.
Yeah.
So,
This could include maybe clerics.
clerics,
I don't think that we'll want to pick like a.
I think,
Hmm.
like, honestly, I'm going on Ravnica based cards
Yeah, I mean that's fine.
because they are. How do you spell Orzhov?
Orzhov.
Oh, that's right. H is on the other side of the V. If you want to take a look, I've found a couple ones that you might like.
Yeah, just name.
Ghost Council of the Orzhov.
Oh yeah, I remember these guys up there. There we go.
Is kind of like it.
Mm-hmm.
Another one that I'm looking at is Orzhov Pontiff.
P. Haunt. Oh yeah, this guy. Okay.
So
Haunt.
like, it chooses. It's just an arbitrary choosing which are in the right, which are in the wrong.
Yep.
Obviously, we're gonna probably stay away from like the charms, just because they're just for the same reason of the planeswalkers. The charms will just have 3 abilities that coincide with those colors.
Yeah. Did you have any other ones on your list?
No, just those. Well, you could also go with Orzhov Church of Deals. The Church of Deals. It's a land card. But it's for 5 tap, target player loses a life and you gain a life. And
Wait,
that
how was it spelled? Orzhov.
The Church of Deals. Comma, the Church of Deals, sorry.
Orzhov. There we go.
Yeah, it's that one.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's like for 5 tap, and
Mhm.
it's like the money that the church takes from its followers.
Mm-hmm.
Is you gotta pay a hefty penny if you want divine intervention. That's kind of what the Orzhov Church or the Black White Church is about. Is you pay dearly for the church to do something for you.
Yeah.
That's another kind of thing. I'm not sure how much it encompasses Black White.
Well, I mean, yeah. Go ahead.
In all of Magic. But the way Black White kind of feels for most of Magic is that sort of you pay for, a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Yeah. I do like the life lost, life gain because that is very black and white, respectively.
Yeah.
Same reason why I almost wanted to pick something like Blood Artist.
And I kind of like
that's more black.
like the name as well.
Yeah.
That kind of helps with it.
If only there was like a, oh wait, debt to, there we go. Debt to the Deathless. So it's kind of the same thing. It almost does. I mean, it basically has the same effect as the church, but it's everybody else, and it's double what you're paying for it.
So, if you think of it, because it's sort of like a corrupt church. It's
Yeah.
the white is your holiness, but the black is the corruption behind the church. So it's everybody is paying into the church.
Yeah, and I like the name of it too.
Yeah, debt
Like,
to the deathless.
Yeah.
Is, hey, we're going to give you eternal life, but you got to give back.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
Yeah.
I kind of like that card.
Yeah. Want to do that then? All in favor for now? Okay.
Yeah. Yep. That's my vote.
The eyes have it. Okay, Boros. Red, white. First couple things I thought of was Lightning Helix. Because Lightning Helix. I mean, it has the lightning bolt in it, which was one of my original red suggestions, and then the gaining life.
It's Bolt and Healing Salve in one.
Yeah, or if we wanted to go up War Leaders Helix, if we thought that either 3 wasn't enough, or if there's some sort of leadership thing. I mean, Boros is very army, so having something like War Leaders Helix. I mean, while Lightning Helix is fantastic for like the single mage, or I should say the individual mage, War Leaders Helix seems more kind of like the same thing, but the boss version of it, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's been a quote from Aurelia.
My input is red white is, yes, exactly what you said. Very militaristic. It's got that military feel of it. Aurelia War Leader is pretty good. I think a few of the other red white angels, probably like Razia or Fire Main Angel, also would have that kind of feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I
Redirecting
kind
damage
of
to
like
enemy. Yeah.
I kind of like Razia because it's both healing and damage. Fire Main is a life gain. It's got that resurrection ability though, which is what a lot of the Phoenixes
Phoenix,
have.
yeah.
Um, any of those. I was also thinking about if we didn't want to just do like legendary creatures. I was trying to think of. I'm looking at Sky Knight Legionnaire. Um, oh, there's another one. I'm thinking that one of those angels are currently
Yeah.
our best choices. Either Aurelia or Razia. Those are the two that best symbolize it.
I think that if we're going under the impression that Boros is very army, I think that Aurelia would do it better because of the extra combat.
Hmm.
And then she still has, I mean, they both have flying vigilance haste,
Yeah,
and then additional combat. War leader. I mean, it's in her name too.
sure. All right,
Mm, yeah, so we'll go with
I can back that.
Aurelia, the war leader. Okay, Selesnya, green white.
Hmm.
I actually don't have any idea for this one. Um, very maybe a strength in numbers, strength in weenies kind of thing.
Green White was all about life.
Yeah.
The both. It's a very like tree people type type colors.
Yeah.
Green White is the promotion of life in all of its forms. What is that one chick? Yeah, that person, just tiny.
Yep.
Uh, um,
Tostitos.
Tostitos. So it has the promotion of life, and it also has um, that life gain type thing that
Hmm.
a lot of Selesnya likes to do. Um,
I definitely do like that because there was a lot of green. There's a lot of token stuff in green white also,
yep,
and it has the populate in there.
yep. Populate was a very good ability. The original Ravnica was Convoke.
Yep. Which
Um,
is also strength in numbers kind of stuff.
yep, strength in numbers, tokens, and it was very token generated, but it was less. The whole reason behind the tokens
Hmm.
was those were just critters, your average life. It wasn't a selected person. It wasn't like any kind of. The tokens themselves didn't actually have any place in. They're not part of the hierarchy of society.
Yeah.
They were just um, animals,
Hmm.
and the Selesnya still value even the smallest amount of life, even the snakes or the insects,
Yeah.
all the
Saplings,
way up
etc.
to the beasts, the trees.
Hmm.
It was all about, the creation and value of life.
Yeah.
Tristani's pretty good.
Yeah. Definitely a front runner. Um, I can't think of like a mass green white token production or just thing production.
Well, there's Pollen Brightwings. That's kind of mass production.
How's that spelled?
Pollen,
Oh,
P-L-L-E-N,
Ian.
Brightwings.
Flying deals counter to a player, but that many saplings, but yeah, a little bit.
There's also, well, that's part of a split card, so never mind. I think it
Just
was like
half of it.
supply. Yeah, it was like it was supply. I think from supply and demand,
Hmm.
which is like
Yeah,
just
just dump X separate.
have some saplings.
Yeah.
Because the other thing that I always
Attribute to
which
green white.
yeah attributed to green white was Selesnya Evangel,
Oh yeah, yeah.
which kind of um kind of also does it really well because it's the Evangel plus another creature promotes the growth of a sapling. So it's a community as a whole creates this value, creates the sapling. So Justani's good, whereas it creates it, but Selesnya is also about the community helping each other to create this thing. But it also
For the
has that
betterment of
life
it.
gain, right?
So
Um,
like I wouldn't pick something like Glare of Subdual because it's like the combat part of Selesnya.
Yeah, Selesnya, the combat side of Selesnya was we get like the whole thing was we're all together, we are all one, we are all united, and
Yeah.
so you get a whole community both raising and fighting as one. So
Yeah.
Glare of Subdual was each one of our creatures, even to the lowliest one, can stop your army.
Hmm. Um. So I'm assuming Tristani is the middle person here and not all three of them collectively. Because if it was them collectively, then I think we could argue Tristani for her own reasons and the same reasons as Evangel in the togetherness. Um,
Uh,
with that, like if it's all three people, then they already have that togetherness.
uh Well, if you look at the title, Tristani Selesnya's voice. Okay, so
Hmm.
Tristani is not necessarily like the leader, but she is
Yeah.
the ambassador.
Yeah.
She is the voice of the masses.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, it's a good. I would go with. I would put my vote for Tristani.
Yeah, I say we do that. That Evangel being a close second. I mean, Evangel might even be in this little group right there. Anyway, um, Stani. Okay, Demur. So the first thing that I think of with blue black is glimpse, partially because of the title. Um, just kind of screams what the the Demur do, and people just seeing it like that's bullshit. Like that guy's going crazy. He lost the sixth of his mind because he saw whatever is going on down there. Um, Plus a little bit of the ability. It's not damage. It's just a loss of the mind,
Uh-huh.
which is a lot of blue black, especially blue black. Not necessarily blue and not necessarily black, but like
Yeah.
the unique combination of both. I mean, a
Yeah.
little bit because like mind rot and control, individually, but together especially, like it's like insanity.
Yeah. Another one that I would consider consuming aberration,
Hmm.
which has that, you're losing your mind or whatever.
Hmm.
But consuming aberration, it's a horror that's, the depths and the like on the surface, blue black was just kind of a sketchy, you know, part of town, but the deep down, like the core of Blue Black
Yeah.
was this horror, glimpsing the unthinkable, this raw hits you to a core that you didn't even think you had.
Yeah.
It's, that horror that um
Unthinkableness.
how
Well,
how could
not unspeakable.
this possibly be the center of a guild in the city?
Yeah.
I mainly went for consuming aberration because of the horror. Its creature type is
Hmm.
horror.
Yeah. It's a good
Um,
reason.
it it gets more powerful the weaker the opponent is.
The opponent, more specifically, the weaker the opponent's mind is.
Yeah. So it's all based on,
That's a good one.
surprisingly enough, more about intimidation than even Gruul is.
Yeah.
It's on a, I want to say, on like a primal level. It's fear. Is
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah. Consuming numbers is pretty good. I think any of like the big mill cards, like what's Mind Grind, is just another one, or Mind Funeral. Both of them, just the strong blue black mill cards personify Demur very well. But Consuming Apparition does have, from what you were saying, more so of that
Glimpse the Unthinkable, Mind Funeral,
grind.
Mind Grind. Um, these are more tools of the Demur,
Hmm.
whereas Consuming Aberration would be an embodiment of goals or whatever for the Demur. Like
Yeah.
Glimpse the Unthinkable, like I feel like Glimpse the Unthinkable is the leaders or whatever of Demir showed somebody something terrifying and it just drove them insane.
Yeah.
Like same with Mind Grind, Mind Funeral. They're spells that are cast on the uh, people that get in Demir's way,
Hmm.
type of thing. Whereas Consuming Aberration is like what would be at the core, what would be like the unmentionable depth of the Demir.
Yeah. I think that's sufficient. I can give you that. Okay. So moving on. So is it the first one that I actually thought of, and I feel like I have good justification for, is it Charm? It has like parts of both colors, and is it specifically because of. So first part, the countering 9 creature spell, so the spell pierce. The second part being shock, and then the third being draw and discard. They both kind of like, or the is it especially, I think, likes that. And I know we were mentioning staying away from like charms and planeswalkers and such, but
Yep.
is it specifically, I think, could go with something random like this because of how modal and let's science and see what happens they are.
Okay. Here's my rebuttal.
Okay.
Um, because is it is one of the very few guilds that I've actually done in-depth research on.
Okay.
Is its leader, it
Yeah.
is
Didn't miss it.
Niv Mizzet, the Fire Mind, the Draco Genius, whatever that creature is. The dragon, the Elder. Well, I guess he's not necessarily an Elder Dragon, but he's been there for. I believe they were saying. I don't remember if it was 2,000 years or 20,000 years, but he's been around. Okay.
Hmm.
His what is a massive laboratory.
Okay.
Pretty much what they're doing is well, everybody is partaking in smaller parts of Niv Mizzet's epic experiment.
Okay.
And that is my choice for that is my card that I would like to submit is Epic Experiment for consideration. Pretty much what it is over this 20,000, however long Niv has been around, he has been doing one large experiment.
Okay.
And that has been the entire goal of the Izzet clan. Blue-red is always about randomness, chaos, just magic going crazy.
Hmm.
And Epic Experiment kind of embodies that. Is just cast random spells and see what happens.
Yeah.
And that's a lot what Izzet has been about, is just do something chaotic and then study the chaos is been their whole goal. And blue-red is just it's that's what it's all about. It's all about casting those instants and sorceries, having random
Something or another happening.
mechanized experiments go crazy, shoot lightning into the sky and see if, you can cause it to rain or whatever,
Yeah.
though the charm, as the charm is, as we were saying, it's
Mhm.
going to have several abilities that are blue and red.
Mhm.
That's what the charms were about.
Mhm.
But I don't know. It's just with the epic experiment. I feel like epic experiment could be the charm. It could cast the charm. It could cast several different other spells that do each of the abilities of the charm.
Yeah.
It could cast a random. You never even know. You may
Yeah.
play like 16 blue spells, 7 red spells, and a green spell. Where'd the green spell come from?
Yeah.
That type of thing that it does. They're chaotic,
Yeah.
chaotic neutral. Not even.
A good or a bad.
They're not good. They're not bad. They're there for the sake of chaos.
Yeah. No, I feel like Epic Experiment should go with some other things too. So like, Possibility Storm would be one thing that I feel is very is it feel
Foresight.
foresight, yeah. So like, would that be something that would go within your Epic Experiment, or would it parallel for the meaning of is it?
The Firemind's foresight. Uh, when you think about it, is kind of him setting up for his experiment. It
That's
is
fair.
gathering the materials to do either a part of the experiment or before doing the experiment. It's he is bringing together his
The final parts of it.
his resources.
Yeah.
When you like in school, when you do your experiment, you go up and you collect all the pieces for the experiment, bring it back to the table, and start your experiment.
Hmm.
Yeah, with the epic experiment, it's you don't know what's going to happen first, second, third, fourth. Like
Hmm.
you don't know what cards are on top of your deck. It's
Yeah.
you are going to like assuming you're not casting your entire deck, you are going to be grabbing random spells and you can reorder the order in which you cast them. There's still that random effect, and especially if you're playing let let's say you're playing a deck that's all about the chaos,
Hmm.
you're going to be randomly playing 7 spells that randomly do random effects.
Yeah.
Probably. I don't know.
Yeah. I'll give that to you. Epic Experiment seems good enough, especially with uh, is it specifically not just blue red, but even looking past is its lore, it is very blue red. So yeah, I can give that. I can give that to you.
Mhm.
So moving on to Simic. So very growth. I feel like there is it, except, well, I mean, not to sound literal here, but replacing the red chaos with the green meticulousness. They are also sciencey, but
The Simic
like a calm scientific process.
the Simic is when Izzet meets Selesnya. It's
Selesnya?
yeah. It's when experimentation meets the promotion of life. So
Mm-hmm.
instead of experimenting on chaos, they are experimenting on a way to make life mutated,
Yeah.
different. They are in the business of mutation. So there's so many cards. Master Biomancer, Kraj, Master Biomancer. What is the other? Oh, I know. There is or is it this one? Yeah, it is this one. It's the one that makes it a mutant as well, in addition. Then there is an artifact called
Evolution vet.
Evolution Vat. That's right. I thought it had Vat in it. Pretty much what the Simic would you're growing life in a vat.
Yeah.
It's life is grown in a petri dish. Clones and all this other stuff is all the creatures are blobs or have like random veins growing random places,
Hmm.
and they're mutants,
Mm.
altered from the natural
Yeah.
through experimentation.
Hmm. I don't think there's anything else that's crazy like that. I mean, we have some of those like figure of destiny things where it keeps changing the bigger it gets, but I don't think there's anything like that in Simic colors.
Oh, what about there was a card that one of the guys watch built a deck around. It was like on
Oh, unexpected results.
that one. So that one has the same kind of connotations as Epic Experiment or something like that, but
Hmm.
um
Because that seems random. I'd probably put that into a blue red feel more than a blue green one.
yeah. Yeah,
Because
so
that's definitely more random.
never mind on that one. Well, there was no, that's something completely different. Unless you want to, I don't know. Experiment Garage is. I like Experiment Garage
Hmm.
because it's all about. Let's say +1/+1 counters are some sort of injected formula that mutates
Right.
something.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, so Experiment Garage is not really the person. The ability is putting a +1/+1 counter on something, but pretty much the Experiment Garage is you inject a whole bunch of people with this thing, and they get stronger, and
This thing gets weirder.
your experiment gains more power from it. It's like as if the Simic were taking like its blood
Hmm.
and putting it into something else,
Hmm.
and somehow that blood link is able to, you know, both mutate them and give it more abilities and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that,
It's not bad.
I like Experiment Garage. Master Biomancer is kind of. I feel like Master Biomancer is the little dude standing next to Garage. He's like the one calling the shots. But
Yeah.
Garage is the experiment. The Master Biomancer is the scientist.
Hmm.
Frankenstein and his monster.
Yeah. I can give you Crotch. That's fine. Um, Especially if you do like to think of the 1/1 counters as some sort of mutation or genetic thing that's added, not just like a spell. I mean, it can be a spell also,
Yeah.
where just 1/1
Well,
counters on creatures. Okay, three more should be pretty simple. Rakdos, black red. Definitely some more evil and demons and stuff. Um, I hate to just say like any form of Rakdos himself.
mhm.
Uh, Despite like this ability, flying trample, definitely demon. But he I feel is more. I mean, I guess the red maybe lends into his first paragraph, but I mean that's still kind of like a black thing. Making sure that they lost life.
Yeah.
I'd almost want to suggest just something with Hellbent in it, just because of who Rakdos is, or Rakdos, the cult, not the individual.
I got you. My suggestion is Sire of Insanity.
So, oh, yep, that's pretty good. Uh,
SI.
it is SI, okay.
Has that hellbent aspect to it. I mean, that's all it kind of does, but it's a demon. It's the name of it is kind of what Rakdos goes for.
Yeah,
Rakdos is
I think a lot of people would resort to like Blightning, like immediately.
damage and discard.
Yeah, definitely very red and black abilities, but not so much like a red black ability, because they're definitely like separate. But yeah, Sire of Insanity definitely more of a Rakdos feel. But as we were talking about earlier, like it depends on how we want to look at it too. Like if we're saying what is the best combination of red and black, or what is the best red black feel.
Embodiment,
Yeah.
yeah.
Servant Sandy definitely a good one though. Because it's just dumping their hand. It's like its name combined with the ability. I mean, yeah,
But I
I'm
mean,
sure that was planned.
if you think about it, Sire of Insanity is like get rid of all your thoughts. All that you have to worry about is attacking.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what like Rakdos is trying to do with its followers and everything. It's like you don't have to worry about anything. Just kill the person in front of you.
Yeah. And it even explains it in the flavor text a little bit, which I think is humorous.
Yep.
Nothing else is coming to mind initially for Sire. Maybe we can revisit things when we're on to the shards.
Sure.
But yeah, Sire seems pretty good though. Golgari, so lots of death things.
Yep.
Um, I don't know actually for this one. I hadn't thought about it at all.
I'm gonna throw out a couple,
Yeah,
and then we can kind of review them.
yeah.
What was that first one? Deathrite Shaman.
Super good.
Golgari and green black is all about graveyard manipulation.
Yeah, or graveyards in general.
Golgari themselves are it's just about the manipulation of death and giving life to death,
Hmm.
without actually like bringing it back to life.
Hmm.
Some other cards you might want to consider: Shambling Shell, maybe, with the pretty much is it dies and gives a boost to one of its creatures, and then it comes back to life, and then it dies again. It gives a boost to one of its creatures.
Yeah. Say Abrupt Decay would be a contender. I mean, the effect is super, but it's absolutely not like green black necessarily.
Yeah. Well, it's absolute death. It's absolute destruction.
Yeah. The name I think is more fitting to the colors than like the ability.
Yeah. Golgari themselves, they pretty much claim possession over all of the Ravnica's dead.
Hmm.
Okay. So anything that dies becomes their domain. Because with Deathrite, I like Deathrite Shaman a lot. Like it uses anything that's in the graveyard,
Yeah.
right? It's really close because I also kind of want Deathrite Shaman is good
Yeah, Death Ray
because
Shaman definitely.
not only does it can use its ability, it can use what's in the graveyard to A, create resources, B, gain itself life, or C, deal damage to an opponent. So,
Hmm.
I mean, yeah, I think Deathrite Shaman kind of takes it.
Yeah, I definitely give it that. I mean, this is just like pure graveyard, and that's all you already deal with. Deathrite Shaman. Okay. And last Gruul. I don't have any card suggestions specifically, but anything that just like is big, mindless, and just beats face for a living.
Um,
Because that's just what Gruul sounds like.
yeah, Gruul is all about blood, spit, and sweat.
Yeah.
It's grime and it's two naked monsters go into an arena. Which one comes out? You know,
Yeah.
no weapons, no armor, no clothes. Just rip each other's ears off. I'm not even sure that Borborygmos is a great example of. Like, I mean, he's the head of the guild, but I don't feel like his abilities and stuff kind of like exemplify it.
Yeah, no, not really.
Um, yeah, he's more of a war leader than a down and dirty.
Yeah. I mean, he has to get in there too, but it's not so much blood, sweat, tears, nakedness.
I'm trying to think of something that would fight, something that has like fight. Um,
How about that? Gruul Rage Beast.
yeah, I mean, sounds good.
Because, I mean, that's just like walk into a bar like, what you got, punk.
Yeah, it's honestly that I feel like that ability, the fight ability, like encompasses Gruul, red, green. You know, it's all about power. It's all about pure primal strength. You know, it's very hardly even about magic.
Yeah, no, not at all. Okay, so Gruul Rage Beast is up there. Is there any other that we can think of?
Let me pull up a list of Bloodthirst here, because there were some good Bloodthirst guys.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you want to take a look at Burning Tree Blood Scale,
Burning dash tree. There we go.
yeah, Burning Dash Tree, it has that like it chooses who it fights,
Yeah.
you know, um, and it has that like the Gruul have that like honor in the combat type feel to it. Life is the fight. I feel like the Gruul would not like assassins or backstabbers.
Yeah. No,
They
not at
they,
all.
they want to face their opponent, and they want. If you can imagine a Dragon Ball Z fight right now,
Mhm.
where the two people just just punch each other in the face over and over and over again
Yeah.
until one person just falls.
Yeah.
That as opposed to a poison dagger,
Yeah. Uh,
and I see that in this card.
what? Poison dagger?
No, I'm gonna choose the fight. I'm gonna
Oh yeah.
both of the cards have it. He just has like the bloodthirst. The when something is bloodied, when blood is part of the equation, he gets stronger. He gets more into the fight.
I do like the choosing to block, but like, would the Gruul really want to pay for it to happen, or do they just want it to happen, like with the Rage Beast?
Well, the can't block is more of an intimidation thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Rage Beast just comes in, like, pretty much Rage Beast, like, drops down off a cliff, lands in front of a guy, and just punches him, you know?
Yeah.
It's an immediate combat thing, whereas Burning Tree Scale, like, walks in and just, like, points his sword at him and is like, alright, you and I are fighting.
Yeah. And then so does everybody else around them because of Rage Beast.
Those two are on equal standing with me, so it's time for you to tip the scales.
Hmm. I don't know. It's a tough one. If only there was more like fight stuff. I mean, so there's the other big guy, Rurik. This guy doesn't do nearly the same thing, and he's more of a blue. I mean, kind of with this guy, just because he's a blue hater, and Gruul absolutely does not like blue.
Hmm.
Um,
Well, it's not just blue, it's just any not creature. So it's anything
yeah,
that, like, if you're not going to stand and fight me,
yeah,
then get out of my way.
yeah.
Type.
So then, would he be close to being a contender as well? Then,
Um, yeah, he's also got Vigilance and Reach.
hmm
A couple of good green abilities. Vigilance is a little more white, but it's one of those things that he's always ready for combat, regardless of whether or not he's already been fighting.
yeah,
So he doesn't tire. He's constantly in the fight. So I would say he's also a contender.
yeah.
And he attacks each turn of Fable. I mean, that's honestly, I think he is pretty much everything that I've been describing of Gruul.
Yeah, okay, we'll go with that. That seems,
Doesn't even let flying creatures get away from him.
yeah. Everybody fight me.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that seems good. Okay, so we have Azor's Elocutors, Debt to the Debtless, Ariel the War Leader, Tristani Selesny's Voice, Consuming Aberration, Epic Experiment, Experiment Crodge, not related, Sire of Insanity, Deathheart Shaman, and Rurik Thar the Unbowed.